Wyatt Teller talked about the Browns trying to get that run game going against the Ravens yesterday.
Yeah, I think that missing 24 is a big deal to that. He's the human eraser, as we like to call. Damn good player. So, we got to be able to, run without one of the best running backs in the league. It's not easy. That's a good front. Even though they were banged up, the scheme's good. Those linebackers are unbelievable. So, we had to run the ball well early. When you don't do that and you get behind, it's hard to just be able to run the ball. I know that that's what a lot of people say and a lot of couch coaching would say, but it's not that easy. You got to be able to pass effectively, run effectively, and if you can't do that, then it's going to end up like yesterday.
And again, you can't argue with anything that he said. It got away from them.
Yeah, the run blocking game it's not been consistent the last 2 weeks. It has struggled mightily, and it seems to be when Jerome Ford breaks off. I mean, we saw it a couple times yesterday, gets maybe 8 yards on a carry, gets called back for holding. So even when they are executing in the run game, they're then getting a penalty called, which negates the run. I think if you look at the one thing to look at from all of this is that the Browns have faced the last 2 weeks the fourth best run defense in Tennessee and the seventh best in Baltimore. That's something to look at as why they could be struggling. I think the other thing that Wyatt Teller mentioned that is very important to note, Nick Chubb isn't the one running the football back there anymore. And nothing against this offensive line, but I do think Nick Chubb's vision and his ability to see that he's running a certain way, that's going to be covered and able to bounce that to some open space. His vision is unlike many running backs in the NFL with his elite vision that he has. And so I think that's hurting this team too, because you don't have Nick Chubb back there anymore. And I think, this offensive line has been really good for the last couple of years, but you could also make the argument that if Nick Chubb's not the one running the ball back there, this offensive line has kind of struggled. And so I think Nick Chubb not being there, when he was on the field, it might have really negated some of the issues we saw at the Browns offensive line in the run game. But now we're starting to see those issues magnified because Jerome Ford is not Nick Chubb. Kareem Hunt's not Nick Chubb. We have to hope coming out of the bye they can get that fixed, because if they can't establish just a decent run game, regardless if Deshaun Watson's back there or not, it is going to make this offense a lot more one-dimensional. And that's something that you don't want to see, especially if you want to be a playoff team. You have to be able to run the ball from time to time. And right now, that's something the Browns have really struggled with ever since Nick Chubb went down with the knee injury.
Yeah, I would expect out of the bye there will be some subtle changes and maybe some not so subtle changes to the way they approach the run game because it does have to get better.